This has to be one of the most screen accurate representations when it comes down to an animated character moving into live action. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be jumping into news updates from San Diego Comic-Con. I haven't seen too much coverage about it, but there's been some cool things brought up, from Black Series to publications, and even some cool photos of some cool characters we want to see in Ahsoka Season 2. So let's jump right into it today. Here on the Star Wars website itself, StarWars.com, let's jump into the first part of the video. We're going to be talking about this particular article on StarWars.com titled "Never Before Seen Art Celebrates 20 Years of Lucasfilm Animation at San Diego Comic-Con 2025. Okay, now, the big thing here we've known about is the new Maul TV show. I believe it's called Shadow Lords. And in the article, we do get our first look at what Maul is going to look like in the show. And it says right here, this is the first still from Maul Shadow Lord. The drawing is one of many never-before-seen illustrations and images on display now. At the annual convention and celebration of all things pop culture, San Diego Comic-Con attendees will get an up-close look at the future of Lucasfilm animation with the first still of Maul from Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, and an intimate exhibit celebrating the 20th anniversary of Lucasfilm animation, spanning Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Resistance, Star Wars The Bad Batch, and the anthology series Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, and Tales of the Underworld. Not too much going on here. We do see that he's going to have, I guess, the same kind of attire as he did at the end of the Clone Wars. Obviously he was severed in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi, so he does have the half mechanical legs. One thing that stands out to me about Maul is the very end of Clone Wars, and why I want to see the show so much. Again, the very end of the Clone Wars show, he has the scene with Ahsoka, and he pretty much tells Ahsoka, hey, this is the plan. You're making a mistake. The person you trust the most is going to kill these kids. He's going to kill a Jedi. He's going to come after you. And it comes true. So it's going to be interesting to see Maul's psyche going forward. And I wonder if they're going to toy a little bit with Ahsoka's psyche and maybe grappling with the fact that she's like, wow, Maul, one of my biggest villains and the biggest villains of my master and my order, was right. And obviously this is the big one here. We get a first look at Ezra Bridger in live action Ahsoka Season 2. This has to be one of the most screen accurate representations when it comes down to an animated character moving into live action. I mean, the scar, the hair, Ezra is clean shaven in the animated series as well. And even the bridge in the nose, right? Like, they did such a fantastic casting job with this Fondy. They did such a fantastic job casting him as Ezra Bridger. When you cast someone from animation to live action, you want them to look like the character, right? You don't want it to be jarring. But the coolest part about the actor portraying Ezra is that he's very Ezra-like. And Ezra-like, kind of like Luke-like in the way. They're hopeful, they're happy. Even him being abandoned on that planet for so many years, when Sabine came back, he wasn't like super sad or depressed. He was happy, he was hopeful, and he was just kind of like, man, I can't wait to go home. I knew you'd always come for me, and I can't wait to help the galaxy again. In addition to never-before-seen sketches from Lucasfilm's Chief Creative Officer Dave Filoni, the showcase will include an exploration of beloved characters like Ahsoka Tano, who have made the leap from animation to live action, with the very first look at Ezra Bridger, we just talked about, and a new costume from Season 2 of Ahsoka, currently in production. Kid, Spectre 6, Jabba the Hutt, no matter what names you call him, Ezra will always make a big first impression. I'm telling you, Star Wars Rebels is, I feel very close to that show. It was a very interesting time in my life. And, you know, it was one of the times where I feel like I could fully digest Star Wars the way I wanted it to. And not that I didn't digest other forms of Star Wars the way I wanted it to, but Rebels just felt special. It felt like an adventure into a new galaxy. And the article goes on to talk about some other cool things in the Pavilion here, like stills and drawings of the Rebels, the Colossus, and other ship models from Star Wars Resistance. So for those of you who didn't see the Resistance, the Colossus is like kind of the base where they deploy out of. It's actually really, really cool. So let's take a quick browse here through the photo gallery. Now this is so cool, man. So I'm actually going to New York City Comic-Con. I believe it's the October 9th date, whichever, it's the first or second weekend in October, and I'm going on the Friday date. Can't wait to check it out. I'll be bringing this camera actually with me, doing some vlogging there. So you get to see a little statue Hunter's helmet, a Lola plush, cast and crew jacket. That's awesome, man. That's so awesome. Get to see some cool stuff here. That looks like the Cad Bane. Yeah, it has to be him. There's his hat. A lot of cool stuff here at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm jealous. Okay, this is the Colossus. Star Wars Resistance is definitely, I would say, one of the more kiddie Star Wars shows, but the actual plot and the setting is very cool, and the Colossus is actually really, really, really awesome base, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who's going to plan on watching Resistance. X-Wing models, some more face moldings. Very cool. Oh, this is the Anakin lightsaber from the Ahsoka Season 1 set. You have Bo-Katan's blasters. So some very, very cool stuff at San Diego Comic-Con. And if you want to check out more of these photos, just go to StarWars.com and click on one of the panels that are premiering right now on the page. Very, very, very cool stuff. And this is the part I may be looking forward to a little bit more than the others. If you look to the top, of your screen over here where I'm pointing, you can see that I actually have a clone trooper gunship. Now that gunship is actually made for 3 3/4 figures, and I think I got it around, it had to have been around 2005 or 2006. My dad bought that for me. We used to go to Walmart. He'd take me all the time. I still have a bunch of loose 3 3/4 figures. I have that in particular. I kept it because it was like my most prized possession. And I think it's one of the coolest things in Star Wars. So let's go through this real quick and you'll see some more Comic-Con updates for yourself. Begun the Clone Wars have with Hasbro San Diego Comic-Con Haslab announcement. So we're not going to read the whole article. This is not necessarily an article video. Let's just scroll down and see what we got here. The Black Series captures the frenzy of unforgettable Star Wars duels. So pretty cool. You get Anakin Obi-Wan battle on Mustafar. You get the Darth Sidious Mace Windu duel in his office. Those are going to be some figures. Obviously the very iconic Episode 5. Anakin and Rex. Have an announcement of Jango Fett. Asajj Ventress with their helmet on. Care about the Acolyte. Not even going to stop there. Some announcements of the vintage series for those who like that. This is pretty cool. I think this is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It's going to have the Force Ghost basically at the end of Episode 6 with the interchangeable for the original actor Anakin Skywalker at the time. All right, this is the big thing I want to talk about. They're making a new one, so I might actually have to buy this. And it's going to be curious to see how close it is to the one I have. So mine, I don't have these pods on the side. I don't know what happened to them. Like I've had them for so many years that, you know, I fell off in storage when I was playing with them as a kid and stuff like that. But I'm really excited to see this in person. I think I'm definitely going to wind up buying this. And maybe that one I'll either do a giveaway if someone wants it, or I'll just, you know, donate it to Goodwill to some kids who need toys. It's older, but I think, you know, kids have imagination. I had an imagination, so I would have liked that as a kid. Very, very, very cool. Let's see if Haslab actually has it up. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Haslab basically requires a certain number of backers. So a certain number of people need to pledge purchasing the item before it's actually sold and shipped. So it's $450, which is actually, I guess by today's standards, not that crazy. So I'm going to wind up backing it. So far, it just got announced at San Diego Comic-Con. It has about 1,161 backers with an 8,000 goal. That's pretty, that's sure it might not make it, but I mean, it's going to come with a display stand and stuff, so I think it'll be worth it. And the more backers they get, the more figures you get as well, if you guys aren't privy to Haslab. So this should be very freaking cool. I really like that it's coming on this display stand. You get to have these clone troopers that I guess come with it. Oh, and they have alternate panels. That's so cool. So you can you can swap out stuff and put it on there. That's very, very cool. Very akin to American warplanes in World War II. We love that. You have until July 25th to back the project. And let's move on to the last part of our video. Highlights from the Lucasfilm Publishing panel. Today's Lucasfilm Publishing Creative Director Michael Siglain hosted a panel of all-star authors and artists including Tessa Gratton, So Lee, George Mann, Ian McCraig, Kevin Scott, Charles Soule, and Harvey Tullibau at San Diego Comic-Con 2025. So I actually had the chance to meet Charles Soule at New York Comic-Con, and Charles is actually a very nice guy, and so is Kevin. I got to meet Kevin too. They're very, very nice people. Dude, High Republic, I'm sorry, man. High Republic lost me a long time ago. I started reading the first High Republic comic series. It just doesn't feel like Star Wars to me sometimes, and I just didn't like it. I wasn't crazy about it. They do have like a cool, like a detective investigator short comic series of the High Republic that I actually really enjoyed. I did enjoy the Light of the Jedi novel quite a bit, but they lost me in the comics. I might give the sequel to Light of the Jedi a chance down the road, but right now it just doesn't call to me. Young Jedi Adventures, again, that's more for a youth-oriented audience. The Art of the Acolyte, as much as I didn't like the Acolyte, I might check out the art stuff, because sometimes the art stuff has some cool lore, or it'll just have some honorable mentions of some interesting, you know, designs and stuff. I am excited for this. Star Wars Tales from the Nightlands by Dark Horse Comics. These comics actually have some very, very cool lore stories. So I do have a video coming out about Vinay. I just talked about him a second ago. Vinay actually featured quite heavily in the Dark Horse comic series. It's like a Halloween special, but it kind of covers his time before Vader, his time during Vader, and his time sort of towards the end of Vader, right? And now we're getting that with the Legacy of Vader comic series. So I'm excited for this because I don't know exactly what we're going to get in there. I mean, this looks really, really sick at face value. I'm all down for like Sith, Dark Lore, Ghosts of Star Wars and stuff like that. I'm so down for this. Yeah, this looks super cool. Again, it's more oriented towards youth audiences, certain stories within these comics, but then out of nowhere, they're very much like just a good story to read. So I'm actually excited to see this. Next up announced, we have Hyperspace Stories. Again, not the biggest fan of this. It looks like it's going to be a story between Dooku and Grievous and some Clone Wars stuff. And then behind the scenes fans got an inside look at the ILM 50th anniversary book. So this might be cool. I have the Star Wars Archives by Paul Duncan sitting in the back there, which I have a new video coming out about the Wampas actually and what I found out about them in that book. So maybe I'll check out this book too. You never know. Sometimes you find some of the craziest tidbits of lore in these like behind the scenes books. And then, okay, it looks like they're going to start pushing the Mandalorian and the Grogu movie, which is very cool. I love the Mandalorian. I love Grogu. More hyperspace story comics, and then more comic reveals. So let's read this little blurb here. Other comics revealed during the panel included covers of particular interest for fans of Dr. Aphra, Legacy of Vader, Jedi Knights, and the Star Wars flagship series, as well as a first look inside Star Wars Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red. From me to you guys, some of the Jedi Knight comics are hit or miss, but some of them are really good. Some of the Legacy of Vader comics, hit or miss. And 2 issues into Dr. Aphra, where I have reviews for both of them and summaries on my channel, actually not bad. And moving on, we have an announcement of Star Wars Outlaws: The Low Red Moon. I wasn't the biggest fan of Star Wars Outlaws, but I finished the game and I grew to like KVS, and I think the story is actually not that bad. I just think the gameplay needs a lot of work. The story of ND5 and K is really cool, so it looks like we're gonna get a novel about them. And it says here, Low Red Moon, a Star Wars Outlaws prequel novel, is coming to a bookstore near you February 3rd. ND5 and Jalen Vrax embark on their descent into the galaxy's underworld in this essential Star Wars read, now available for pre-order wherever books are sold. That's going to be cool. I have a little bit of excitement for that, so I'll definitely be checking that out. So those are the updates so far from San Diego Comic-Con 2025. The date of this video is probably going to get published around July 26th to the 27th. It's being filmed after the San Diego Comic-Con date of July 25th. So maybe there'll be some more updates after. And if there are, I'll post a part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed the updates. If you did, let me know in the comments below. What helps the channel most, and honestly what helps the videos the most, discoverability and reaching more of you guys, is actually by dropping a like on this video. So please do that before you leave today. And also, if you want to connect and talk, you can find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Discord. And on Discord, we're going to do some cool things. Besides talking and chatting Star Wars, I do want to do some movie nights, maybe watch some TV shows together, and just chat and play games. So let me know your thoughts again on all this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay safe. May the Force be with you, always. I'll catch you in the next one, guys.